You might not want to hear this, but you need to. Your life won't change until you do. Not when your circumstances shift. Not when someone finally apologizes. Not when the world finally gets easier. You change your life the moment you change how you respond to it. Most people don't lack potential. They lack emotional control. They let frustration dictate their decisions. They let pressure ruin their focus. They let anger turn small problems into fires. And then they blame the world for the smoke. The truth is harder than that. If you want a different life, you have to control your reactions. That's where change always begins. Not with motivation, not with luck, not with when things finally calm down, but with you. Right now. Learning to stay centered when everything around you tries to pull you apart. Think about the last time you snapped at someone. The last time you let stress take the wheel. The last time you let fear decide your next move. Was it really the situation? Or was it the storm inside you? This isn't about being perfect. It's about being accountable for the voice in your head that says, I can't handle this. Because that voice is lying to you. You've handled worse. You've survived more. But somewhere along the way, you stopped trusting your own strength. Emotional control isn't about suffocating how you feel. It's about owning it. It's about saying, yes, I'm frustrated, but frustration doesn't get to run my life. Yes, I'm tired, but tired doesn't get to choose my future. Yes, this is hard, but hard doesn't mean hopeless. Most people never rise because they never regulate. They think discipline is waking up early or making a checklist, but discipline starts deeper than that. It starts with managing the reactions that sabotage you. It starts with catching yourself before you spiral. It starts with breathing before breaking. Ask yourself this. How many opportunities have you lost because you reacted too quickly? How many relationships have you damaged because you didn't pause long enough to choose the right response? How many goals have you abandoned because discomfort made you emotional instead of focused? Your life is shaped by those moments, those seconds where you choose between impulse and intention, between chaos and clarity, between the old you and the person you're trying to become. And if you're being honest, you already know the truth. You're not stuck because life is impossible. You're stuck because you keep repeating the same emotional patterns that keep you small. This is the part where most people quit, where they say, that's just how I am. But that's not who you are. That's who you've allowed yourself to become. Change begins when you stop accepting the emotional habits that hold you back, when you stop letting every feeling become a reaction, when you stop giving your power away to anything that frustrates, scares, or overwhelms you. You want a new life? Start here. Start with the one thing you can control completely, your response. Because when you learn to control that, everything else becomes possible. You know what nobody tells you? Emotional control isn't built during the calm moments. It's built in the middle of the chaos you keep trying to avoid. The pressure you run from is the pressure required to shape you. If part one was the wake-up call, then this is the mirror. Because every time life overwhelms you, you're being shown exactly where you still need to grow. Not to shame you, to sharpen you. Think about the moments that embarrass you when you replay them in your head. The times you overreacted. The times you shut down, the times you let fear drive your decisions. Those weren't failures, they were feedback. And that feedback is priceless, if you're brave enough to face it. Most people never improve because they don't want to see their own patterns. They want results without responsibility. They want progress without pressure. They want emotional strength without emotional training. That's not how this works. Strength is earned in the moments you want to run. Clarity is built in the moments you want to shut down. Growth is forged in the moments you want to blame someone else. You don't rise by controlling the world. You rise by controlling yourself while the world tries to knock you off center. And here's the part that will sting. Your reactions are not random. They're rehearsed. You've practiced them for years. You've strengthened them through repetition. Every time you panic instead of pausing, you reinforce panic. Every time you lash out instead of breathing, you reinforce anger. Every time you give up instead of grounding yourself, you reinforce quitting. But here's the good news. Anything you can practice, you can unpractice. Anything you can repeat, you can rewrite. Your emotional habits can be replaced with stronger ones. If you want to become someone with authority over their own mind, here's the truth. You train emotional control the same way you train anything else. Repetition, awareness, correction. Again and again and again. Start with the next moment that frustrates you. Pause, not to suppress anything, but to choose. Instead of exploding, breathe. Instead of spiraling, observe. Instead of assuming the worst, ask yourself what response actually moves you forward. That tiny pause is where your power is. That space between feeling and reacting is where your life transforms. Because in that space, you stop being controlled by emotion and start being guided by intention. This isn't easy work, it's uncomfortable. It forces you to confront the parts of yourself you've ignored. the impatience, the insecurity, the fear, the need for control, all of it. But the grind is this. Every time you choose the stronger response, you reshape your identity. You stop being someone who can't control their emotions and become someone who commands them. You stop being someone who breaks under pressure and becomes someone who leads through it. You stop being someone who reacts to life and become someone who directs it. You are not meant to be ruled by the old patterns you inherited from your past. You are meant to break them, rewrite them, replace them with something stronger, something worthy of the life you're trying to build. Part 3 is where it all comes together, where you take this control and turn it into power, where you stop reacting like the old you and start leading like the person you were meant to become. Everything in your life changes the moment you decide to lead yourself, not emotionally, not impulsively, not out of fear, frustration, or old habits, but with intention. Part 1 showed you the truth. Your reactions are shaping your reality. Part 2 showed you the grind. Emotional control is trained, not gifted. And now, this is the shift. You become someone different when you learn to command your inner world. Because emotional control isn't the end goal. It's the doorway. The doorway to clarity, to confidence, to influence, to power. Look back at your life for a moment. The challenges that nearly broke you didn't break you because they were impossible. They broke you because you didn't yet have the emotional strength to carry them. But you're not that person anymore. You're not someone who crumbles under pressure. You're someone who's learning to stand up in it. Now it's time to step into the next identity. A person who chooses their direction instead of reacting to everything around them. Ask yourself this. What would my life look like if I responded like the strongest version of me, every day? Not the scared version, not the rushed version, not the angry, overwhelmed, or insecure version. The strong version. The grounded version. The version of you that doesn't panic, doesn't fold, and doesn't get dragged into every emotional storm. That version is already in you. It's been buried under years of stress, expectations, and survival mode. But now you're digging it out, one deliberate response at a time. Emotional control is how you pull yourself back into leadership. Leadership over your thoughts, leadership over your reactions, leadership over the direction your life is moving. When someone disrespects you, you respond with clarity, not chaos. When life throws something unexpected at you, you adjust, not collapse. When frustration shows up, you breathe, then act, not the other way around. This is where accountability becomes freedom. Because when you stop blaming everyone and everything for your emotional state, you take your power back. You stop waiting for the world to calm down so you can feel steady. You learn to feel steady in the middle of the noise. And that changes everything. Because the person who can stay composed under pressure becomes unstoppable. The person who can choose their response becomes unshakable. The person who can control their emotions becomes someone who shapes their life instead of being shaped by it. This is the identity shift you came here for. Not a better mood, not temporary motivation, but a permanent change in how you face the world. Your life won't change until you do. But once you do, once you start responding like the strongest version of yourself, your relationships change, your confidence changes, your opportunities change, your future changes. This is where the old you ends and the real you begins. Step into that, command it, become it. If this reached you today, like and subscribe for more.